Well, the fence is done. I don't know whether you can see behind me, but that is over 1,000 feet of fence, and it is done. We are happy about that. I'm going to show you the fence building process. I'm going to show you a little fun we had too, smashing things with a post driver, so don't go away for that. But the fence is done. Let me show you how they did this. Some beautiful welding, beautiful fence work, tight fence. Really happy with what they did here, and I highly recommend this crew. Tell you more about them in just a second. This is a 50-year fence, high tensile fence with a strand of barbed wire on top. I think the fence is 50 inches or more and got a strand of barbed wire also at the top. Still got to drop a gate in right here. I didn't have any hinges. He went ahead and blew some holes in it, and we fit these hinges in there, and then I bought some more on Amazon. I'll show you those in another video probably, hanging the gate. I don't know whether you remember it or not, this entire fence was covered in trees that had fallen over during a tornado, high wind,
and again,
looks
wind.
Great. Not sure exactly what it was, but this whole fence line was completely covered up with trees that had fallen on the fence. Let's get to the fence building, show you what they're doing. I'll talk you through it, and because I didn't talk very much during the videoing of it, but I'll talk you through it as you watch it. Let's get after it. So this is Cody, the owner of the company, Cody's Custom Fencing. He is lining up the skid steer. They use the skid steer hydraulics for this post pounder. I forgot the name of it, but and then he lines it up vertically, makes it level both ways, forward, backward, right, left. Drills it in a few feet, then checks the level. Make sure that all the way down it's driving a level post. That weight on top of it is 550 pounds. And of course it depends on how hard your ground is. Right here the ground's pretty soft. Much softer than most of my ground. But it depends on how hard the ground is. He'll raise it up further to pound it deeper, but as he gets closer to the, to the place where he wants it, and he's got a man over there on the right eyeballing it. As soon as he gets close to where he actually wants the post to be, the height of the post, then he'll start just barely raising it up, just hitting it, just a few inches at a time. Pretty amazing machine considering what I've done over the past years, digging holes and such and concrete. All those original posts were 5 feet deep, had probably 5 or 6 bags of concrete in them. I was a much younger man and could dig those by hand. Didn't have a post hole digger for most of them. Dug them by hand, and it's tough. So pounding them in is a pretty cool process. This is on my driveway, right behind him, that dirt spot you see on the left, about midway. That was where that big tree was that the limb fell out and covered my front fence. This is back on that long fence I showed you in the very beginning of the video, the 1,000-foot fence, right next to a tree that is straddling the fence line. We had to do something about that. Welding it up, doing a good job welding, excellent welder. They'll come back and cut the posts off later. I'll show you that. Cut the tops of the posts off just a little bit later. Use a Miller Bobcat. Now they're driving T-posts. Now I have driven a many T-post with a T-post driver. This is the way to do it. I've done a few with my tractor like this over the years, but very seldom because the ground is so hard my tractor just won't push them in. This one does. He found one that he had a problem with. It was sitting on a root and either pounded it or moved it over an inch or so just to get away from the root. There's no stumps here. All those were cleared out, but there are plenty of roots where those trees were. This is that fence line that was just covered with trees. Positions the T-posts on the ground before he starts his operation, and then just has the guys stagger Push one in. I think this is the one where it bends. The T-post bends a little bit. Can't get it in because it's only sitting on a root. Comes back later and does this one. But you can see the T-post bend just a little bit right there. Won't quite push it in. Comes back later and does that one. And then come back later and also adjust the height. If they need to be pounded in a little bit more, they'll do that. As they string the fence, that will tell them a little bit more about the height of the post and whether or not they're exactly correct. And again, this is a Stay Tight 50. It's a 50-year fence. Excellent, excellent fence. High tensile. Ain't no bull gonna push through this. Just staggers, pushes, staggers. All the way up, 1,000 feet, just like this. Lay them all out beforehand, just prep work. 10 feet apart, by the way. I don't know whether I said that before. These are 10 feet apart. Here's the H braces. On the high tensile fence, he has to use what he calls a double H brace, not just a one brace, a double H brace. And that's what he has to use for this high tensile because he pulls it so tight. There's the gap where a gate's gonna go. Starts out with the barbed wire stretched from post to post all the way down 1,000 feet down the fence. And then that's where he knows to lay his T-posts out. That's gonna have a straight fence. Rolling the fence out. It's a homemade fence roller that he made. I believe the wire is 330 feet long. So it took right at 3 rows. Right here is the 2 fence stretchers. He's stretching 2 portions of fence. Cool. From the right and left there. And what are those splices called?
Gripples.
Gripples?
Gripples.
Gripples.
Look, Daddy.
They're pretty cool.
It's a little roly-poly.
Once you put them in, they're done. They're in.
Done deal.
Don't. How much tension can they take? Do you know?
A whole bunch. I really don't know exactly the exact tension, but
It'll hold
it will hold a buckle.
700 on them.
Oh, it's way over 700. We're probably pulling 1,200.
1,200 pounds.
1,100 pounds. We're pulling a pretty good bit.
You don't have to bend the back on each other?
No, sir.
Pretty cool. Very meticulous about what he does. He wants everything done just right. Taking the stretch off the fence now with the come along, backing off of it. That's when the gripples go to work, start grabbing. Always got to be careful of that barbed wire when you're working on top of it like that with your arm over it. Letting off the tension here also. And then these come out. That's pretty cool the way those fence stretchers work. Put this fence up it, then you nail those little spikes in there and it holds that fence. Never used anything like that. I've done a lot of fence stretching, but never had anything quite that fancy, quite that heavy duty. Really nice. Now we're cutting off the tops of the posts. They cut them long. The posts are 10 feet long. They're in the ground about 5 feet, so it's about 5 feet sticking up. And now they're gonna cut the tops off of them to make them look correct with the horizontal bracing. They like them to be a certain height above the horizontal bracing. And it differs whether you're doing high tensile or just regular woven wire. This particular fence is not the high tensile, this is woven wire. Just the kind that I typically use. Cutting holes in it now for the hinges. Pretty cool shot. Wish I could use a cutting torch that precise. Then what he's doing here, he's got a hole on the other side, the large hole, and he's looking to see what's going to be the level. If he started that little small hole level, and if not, he will adjust it right here. There's the J-bolts. Gates will hang from those. I've got 4 gates, 3 here that they're hanging, and the one on the very front of the property I showed you a while ago. I'll probably hang that one because they've already left. I didn't have the right J-bolt for it, so they had to wait on that. And I'll get to show you how to hang a gate. This is an old gate. It's going on a portion of the fence that's on the back, not really seen that much. And so this is a 16-foot gate. I wanted to go ahead and use it, so I used it up on this. So that's the fencing. Extremely proud of it. Now here's the fun I promised you. 7 up, full 7 up. Smash.
Look what it did to it. Look at that.
That's pretty cool. Didn't he pop the top?
Wow. Yeah, it didn't even crack the seal.
Empty Dr. Pepper can.
Yeah.
Wow.
Paper thin almost. That's cool. Let's do one big drop.
He just gonna wish he came today. Come on. Yeah, just clean it off. Yeah. Just split that back.
That's cool. That's pretty neat.
We decided to go Italian. Ragu. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a little fun with that, and just checking out the new fence.